Hey, quick note before I start this episode. I said director's cut, and what I meant every single time I said director's cut was director's commentary. I'm not really sure where the confusion came from, but in your head, as you listen to this, just replace director's cut with director's commentary. I'm not going to re-record this whole entire episode because of one slip up, but yeah. Anyways, enjoy the episode. All right, I think we're gonna call this director's cut because I miss director cuts from movies, so that's what we're calling this. But it's basically going to be a sausage talk, how it's made, behind the scenes stuff from the last quarter, talking about things there, and then talking about what I want to do in the next 3 months. So I started off this year wanting to create or release something every single day for the year. And I've managed to make it every single day. There have been numerous calls so far in these first 3 months. There was something that didn't get published and that was supposed to come out. I tried to release at 5 a.m. in the morning. And sometimes it's been pretty close. I remember like finishing videos at like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And that means you got to, edit, export, and then upload, right? So some things wouldn't, be done uploading to YouTube until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And that left me like 2 hours before my deadline. So it has definitely been numerous close calls. But that's to be expected. There's, so much life. And this is a hobby, right? This is not something I'm doing and getting paid for, semi-professional or anything like that. So there's been a lot of close calls. But let's go ahead and talk about Q1. And the way I think is best to do this is talking about each of the areas of content. So like Alcove and then Tabletop Oasis and so on. So I try to think of different ways to like talk about this. And I ultimately decided that this was going to be the best way to do it. So looking at Alcove, this podcast that you're listening to right now, I've had some growth this year, or these last 3 months, especially uploading it to YouTube, where I've gotten comments and more views, and I think it has been nothing but beneficial since uploading this to YouTube. And I am very glad that I was consistent with Saturday morning coffee episodes every Saturday morning. But I have been struggling with the Monday bonus episodes where I try to narrow in and focus on one specific like topic. And that has been really tough because I like to do extensive research and work on those episodes. And so those have not always released it in place. I've had to do extra hot dog videos or extra video game things, or I think one time I did an extra stream just to make up for the Monday content. And that's just because of life, whether I'm doing stuff on the weekend or busy having a job. Crazy, right? So all in all, Alcove has had a great quarter. I'm really excited. It was the second most popular bit of content, like content stream, content, I don't know, channel. I guess channel would be the best word to use here. It was the second best channel of my content this quarter. Now with Tabletop Oasis, very different story. It's pretty much stagnant. I have 5 followers there on YouTube. And I'm pretty sure those were all friends and family. There might be one stranger that has followed me there. But it's been, as far as content, it's kind of been two main things. It's been playing, showing off some board game, which I've struggled with because I thought that, oh my gosh, I have almost 100 board games now. It'll be easy to do this. But turns out when I really looked into this, locked in, and started trying to make videos, I'm like, oh man, most of these are out of print games or super run-of-the-mill family games. Not a lot. A good portion are out of print and run-of-the-mill family games, and those don't make for it's very exciting videos. Like you need to be doing like niche videos, to actually pull in people and get people to like consider looking that are considering buying new games. That's kind of like what I figured people would be looking at those for. And the other content was painting minifigures, all of them from HeroScape. And well, that wasn't really working out. And truth be told, it's not what I really wanted to do either. But I wanted to start Tabletop Oasis and at least get a foundation there. And it's I've struggled with it because mostly it's not what I wanted to do. Gaming Too Late, the video game channel, in a similar boat, also 5 followers. Pretty sure that is exclusively friends and family. And there, I've really, really enjoyed Gaming Too Late. Definitely more than Tabletop Oasis, but I've been kind of casting a wide net on that channel. The main buckets were some achievement hunting and playing some games with friends. A couple series with my friend Eli, and then an episode or a couple episodes with Faith. A lot of struggles there, particularly with technology, especially recording 2 of us at the same computer. That did not work out so well because I'm trying to use noise gates to hide the sounds of the clickety clack from my controller. But then having 2 of us at once, I thought about trying to use 2 microphones, and that ended up sounding a kind of weird because the microphones were pointing at both of us. And so there's just a lot of technological difficulties there this quarter. Now on to streaming. I had more followers or subscribers than Tabletop Oasis and Gaming Too Late. I think it's at 9, but 95% of the time I'm streaming to 0 people. The number says 1, but that's just because I have a stream manager open on my computer, and that is the one person watching, right? So it's I would consider it kind of a failure, because what I wanted it to be was like a funnel to get people to see, like, I exist. Here's my content. I'm here to have fun and try to be like a live engagement with other with potential community, or like people that like my content, and trying to find new people. Bit of a marketing thing. But it's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted was like party games with friends. And so it's not meeting what I would like to see. Now, there's a totally different story with Canvas Apron, my cooking channel. I've seen steady growth. Today I hit 40 followers on that. It's the highest views, highest number of engagement. I'm loving it a lot. The people watching these videos are loving it a lot. Aside from the guy who really, really did not like that I put mayo on a hot dog, which I get. A lot of people are very anti-mayo on hot dogs, but mayo goes on hot dogs. That's my hot take. Who would have thought that would be the hot take that I would have to defend online? But here we are. So one of the reasons I'm loving it is because I am doing something that I want to be doing. And clearly I'm doing something right, but I don't know what. I've been very surprised about how strong this channel has been. I thought that I might just be putting these out and there'd be nothing. But as I looked around, turns out on YouTube, it's there's a lot more opportunity, I think, for run-of-the-mill guy making cooking videos like me than I would have thought. On TikTok, definitely oversaturated. But that could just be because I've been in cooking talk for, since I joined TikTok like 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago. 6? Almost 6 at this point, I think, maybe. Anyways, like I said, I've been really surprised at how well it's going. And Indiana Jones series, I cooked my way all the way through all the recipes in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is a video game. And of course, being Indiana Jones, you travel around the world and you collect a couple of recipes in each region you go to, almost every region you go to. And no one else was cooking this on YouTube. I couldn't find anyone else really doing this. So it was a great niche that I was able to jump into early. I had no real competitors, and people were really interested in whether these recipes were good or not. And that drew in a lot of people. At first, I thought it was going to be wildly more successful than the hot dogs, but the hot dogs have pulled in a lot of engagement because people are like really excited or really interested in commenting on some of the hot dog combinations I've made and saying they wanted to try it and so on, that kind of thing. So hot dogs by far have a higher level engagement. I think Indiana Jones videos, though, had a higher level of views if I'm kind of like trying to take averages. Averages aren't a super fair comparison, I think, because Indiana Jones, there was only, there was, I want to say maybe like 11 videos, and then hot dogs, way more hot dog videos than Indiana Jones. So I'm not sure if averages is a fair way to compare the two series. Anyways, I didn't necessarily intend, like I didn't go into my cooking channel looking at it as a test kitchen. At first I was like, oh yeah, it'll be like a test kitchen. And then I Googled what a test kitchen really was. There was like, okay, not really that. But as I've progressed, I've realized that I kind of am turning this into a test kitchen, which I love the idea of. Like I am working to try and create new recipes, new ingredient combinations, and come up with new ideas. And it's been limited to hot dogs so far, but as we'll get into later, it won't be limited to just hot dogs. Now, going into quarter two, looking at each of these, Alcove, pretty much in quarter two, Alcove will be 95% Saturday morning coffee. I might have some specials to release, but that's not going to be a focus. If I work on a topic and it's like, okay, this is hitting like the 15-20 minute mark, I might consider that being a special episode of Alcove instead of just a Saturday morning coffee topic. Not quite sure yet, but definitely as I move to Boise mid quarter two, I'm going to be surrounded by a lot more of my friends again, that I have associated with for many years, and most of them, a vast majority of my friends, live in Boise. So there's going to be a lot more guests that will be showing up on Saturday morning coffee, and I think that is going to be really exciting. It's going to bring a breath of fresh air to that, and I'm really excited to see who I can convince or drag onto the show. I am at this point working on a rebrand for Alcove because at this point I'm committed to Alcove becoming what is essentially a morning show. It's just that the time consumption of specials just is not sustainable whatsoever. But there's some especially longer form stuff in Q3 and Q4 that I'm really looking forward to. And those are going to be like definitely longer form content, and so thus will necessitate being specials instead of being just absorbed into Saturday morning coffee. Now, looking at Tabletop Oasis, that channel is going on hiatus, and I want to stress very much that it is a hiatus, and I fully intend on returning to it, but not during quarter two. For now, until I can get it closer to what I actually want it to be, which I'll talk about a little bit more later, Tabletop Oasis is just going to have to go on hiatus. And Gaming Too Late, I'm going to be moving this up to 2 episodes a week, which is going to be the goal. I plan on having the two-prong approach here. 1 episode a week will be like the solo with an optional of a friend joining in, where I go for like 100% of all achievements in a game. So completing it fully, anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours. And the second is going to be the games with friends, like I have been doing so far with Eli and Faith, and hopefully some others. It seems like some people might be interested in joining me on that. So we'll have some other things to go on to Gaming Too Late. And that one is slowly moving towards what I want it to be, but for it to fully be what I want it to be, I need a community, and we'll talk about that later too. Now, Canvas Apron. Indiana Jones finished yesterday, the day before this episode aired. It ended with the Mersu video from Baghdad or Iraq. Phenomenal little tasty little treat. So check that video out. Quick plug. But with that series has ended, and 70 Hot Dogs of 2025 is almost over. I think we're in low 60 or high 50s, I think is where we've got about 50 hot dogs done so far. So once that hits 70, that series will end, and that will end in this quarter as well. So I fully expected hot dogs. I projected to finish maybe around August, but because I've released extra hot dog videos, that has not been the case. It's sped that up quite a bit, which is fine because I am working on becoming a hot dog ambassador. And to do that, I wanted to show the proof of my commitment to hot dogs and my love for them with this hot dog series. And so I'm kind of glad it'll be over early so that I can submit my video for recommendation to be considered and in consideration of becoming a national hot dog ambassador. And then, so replacements, Indiana Jones, people are really liking that I am experimenting and trying new foods, and they're interested in that stuff. So I am replacing Indiana Jones with street food from around the globe. So what I have done is I've started using a random country picker, and I am selecting random countries from around the world, and I am choosing one street food from that country to create. And then with hot dogs, when that finishes up, it's going to get replaced with a rotating series of recipes for mac and cheese, more hot dogs, hamburgers, and ramen. Over my lifetime, I have collected a lot of recipes and ideas for these four foods. More so the hot dogs, hamburgers, and ramen than mac and cheese. But I'm really enjoying. I've done 3 mac and cheese videos at this point. By the way, had this last week off because I'm in intermission before I start my new job the day after this podcast releases. 3 mac and cheeses in 1 week is a lot. Oh my God. I don't think I could look at another noodle for a couple of weeks. So that's why it's going to be a rotating series between those different foods. And there's an optional 3rd episode release. Totally optional. If I don't have something to release, there's no pressure on me to do it, right? Because all this is like my own pressure put upon myself. But if there is a 3rd video to release, like I have, several videos for the other 2 series ready to go, then the 3rd episode of a week is entirely dependent, like I said, on free time. And it's going to be kind of a free form. It's going to touch on any of the other series that I'm looking at starting. So I might be testing out some other videos for potential series. Especially looking at planning, quick sidetrack, I have numerous series planned out for all these different channels, right? I have easily 2 to 3 times more ideas for food videos, one-off videos for the food channel, and numerous series compared to any other YouTube primary channel. Alcove, I've got episodes lined up and ideas that could last me years at this point. I've been collecting podcast ideas for 7 years now. I've been podcasting for 6, so I've got so many ideas there, episode specific, series, all that kind of thing. But anyways, streaming. Streaming is also going on hiatus again until I can get to something more of what I want it to be. And as far as our schedule going into quarter 2, here it is. Mondays will be, if I have the bonus food episode, that'll come out then. Tuesdays are going to be 100% quick completions on Gaming Too Late. Wednesday is our Global Food Wednesday. Then we have Thursdays, which is Gaming with Friends. And that will be semi-optional. It's really tough to coordinate this with people who have just as much going on with me, and this is not like their hobby like it is for me. Eli is very busy. He's a grad school student working full time. He's got a lot going on. Faith also working through to finish up some classes and working and life, so it's really hard to try and coordinate additional games with friends videos when we all have, different schedules. To wrap it all up, Friday is going to be Food Series Friday. So that's where we're talking about the hot dogs, mac and cheese, hamburgers, that stuff. And Saturday, of course, will be Saturday morning coffee. And here's the big thing. Sunday, I am not releasing any content. That is the one day a week where nothing will probably ever release on any of my channels during Q2. I am officially pivoting, not giving up. I am pivoting from our 365 days of content. I have always, shall I say, how would I put this? I have always prided myself on my willingness and capacity to pivot and focus on things that have been successful, that bring me more joy. And I am okay with that. I am happy with my decision to move from 365 days of content for numerous reasons. The big thing here, though, is I want to focus on quality over quantity. It is really hard to find time to learn how to properly use my recording software, both for podcasts and for, in particular, video stuff. It is really hard to find time to focus on getting better with that stuff and learning how to use it better when every drop of free time is dedicated to content. So quality over quantity is taking a step of higher importance than it has this first quarter. Now, as far as 365 days of content, I think that I could do it, but I want to focus on what brings me joy and pride myself on the content I do produce. I've thought about this a lot, and surprisingly, I expected myself to have a harder time accepting it. But there's a lot of life things going on that I've talked about in the past. I've got wedding and honeymoon and this new job, which is going to require a lot more from me than in the past. And with moving to Boise, I'm going from a 6-minute walking commute from my front door to sitting in my office chair to, in Boise, we don't have a place secured, but I'm looking at, 30 minutes, if I'm lucky, of commuting from my house to the office. And so that means, and from working in an office where I'm not a quick 6-minute walk from work, I have way less time to focus on cleaning my apartment and doing the dishes and other chores, which I typically do during lunch. So realistically, I am now losing an additional 2 hours out of the day in which I can no longer contribute to content. And that's really, that's the one part that's tough. I'm I have to move on career-wise, right? But it does mean that it's going to make life a lot harder in pursuing hobbies and interests and the things that bring me joy in my personal life. So, we're going to go one last time through my content. Alcove, I really enjoy the coffee with guests and being a morning show. That has brought me so much joy and happiness. I've already talked about the rebranding to focus on the Saturday morning coffee stuff. So I don't think I have anything else to add there. Tabletop Oasis, what I want here is for it to be more entertaining rather than showcasing new games. I'm not ready to share how I intend on making these videos, but I do have some very, I think, unique ideas that I am not seeing other tabletop and in particular board and card game YouTube channels do. And so I have some ideas there, but it requires people that want to do it with me. And so for now, It's staying on that hiatus until I can find a way to make it what I want it to be, of more people engaging. I will say that I intend on doing a couple tabletop role playing games. If I can find a group that would be interested in maybe doing like some very short adventures. I really want to do. I think it would be great to do the NASA and the Lego D&D adventures. Both of those I think would be very fun to listen to, and those are shorter form. And so that would be, once Tabletop Oasis is revived, those will probably be the first series. Now, looking at Gaming Too Late, it's really hard to break into what is already a very oversaturated market in trying to gain people's attention. So I'm going to stick with that two-pronged approach I talked about earlier. And I really want to try and build a gaming community organized with a small group of close friends who share my interest. So I'm going to keep Gaming Too Late alive and chugging forward. If I see zero signs of this possibly moving in the direction I want it to, we'll have to revisit that after Q2 ends at the end of July, and see where we're at on how I feel with Gaming Too Late. Streaming. I wanted this to be a tool that supports everything else, and a way to engage with people who enjoy my stuff in real time, and we're nowhere near that. It's an additional like 2 hours time suck a week. And given everything else I have going on in life, it's just not 2 hours I can really afford to spend. Again, though, hiatus, not going away permanently. There might be a surprise stream here and there, but for now, I have no intentions of continuing streaming until a later date. Now, Canvas Apron, it's pretty much what I want it to be. I'm going to lean into the global experience and the test kitchen dynamics a lot more during Q2. I'm going to be coming up with my own recipes and trying out this food from around the world. I love trying cuisine that I've never tried before. I love trying combinations of ingredients I have never experienced. And so it could not work any better for me to be focusing on these two areas, which are also getting a lot of really good responses. Now, looking at some of the challenges I have been encountering so far, it's like limited time. I don't really need to go into that any more than what I already have. Secondly, is that technology component that I've also mentioned. I need more time to get more familiar with this technology. I don't have anyone else that I know or like have a like relationship with, even like a parasocial relationship with online to communicate with and try to figure some of this stuff out. So I'm trying to do it on my own and watching, some occasional YouTube channels and just experimenting, trying to figure out what works. But technology has been a significant challenge. Like there have been some lost episodes. There have been, I accidentally deleted an entire cooking video once. I still to this day do not understand how that happened. I somewhere along the lines of recording it and then stopping the recording and trying to transfer it, I put it on my computer, and then I put the memory card in my computer and it was gone. So there are definitely numerous technology issues that I still need to kind of try and figure out how to work through. Another one is funding, and this one is pretty much essentially only affecting Canvas Apron. My God, I have been tracking the receipts for everything I spend on Canvas Apron, and I am spending so much money on buying these ingredients and making these foods, especially the recipes for like Indiana Jones. Getting some of those ingredients was difficult. I've spent so much time going between every single store we have in our area trying to find one ingredient for even something as simple as like cheese curds. Turns out there was only one store in this entire area, or in Moscow, where I live, where I could find cheese curds, and they only had 2 packages of cheese curds, and that's the most they usually have. But finding Middle Eastern food, Jeez, that was a nightmare. Egyptian food was especially very difficult. I talked about that a lot during those videos, but find like pigeon. Come on, I'm not going to find that, right? So I had to use other small birds, and that was expensive, really expensive. So funding has been tough for Canvas Apron, and it's just it's just one of the challenges. But I'm willing to put forward that money. Like I spend less money on other hobbies or interests in exchange for being able to make more of these cooking videos. And the last big challenge that I've been encountering is balancing life, just between all of my other real what's the word I'm looking for, like real responsibilities, like maintaining a home and keeping it clean, taking care of my dog, maintaining and putting appropriate care and focus on my fiance and the upcoming wedding, and just my family, like all of that, because my family lives 30 minutes away, so maintaining all of that is it's a lot, especially when I've been trying to produce 365 videos, but I am really proud of myself of what I have been able to do so far, of like improving the craft of content creation. Like I have been getting better at explaining myself on videos, and understanding like camera angles, and some of the physical pieces that I use, like the tripod and stuff, trying to understand why if I have it angled at one specific way, why is this resulting in an odd camera angle, and then trying to experiment and fix that. And so and then marketing, I have gotten a lot better with marketing. It's something I've always been kind of okay with, but producing as much thumbnails as I have has also given me a lot to think about on how I create graphics. And thankfully I've taken classes on graphics and color theory and all of that stuff because of my web design experience. All of that thankfully played into that. But sometimes, because of limited time, I have had sometimes I rush it, and I look back, I'm like, oh God, I forgot to edit that photo. It's really dark. There are things I could have improved, like that little bit of area. It's hard to see what's actually on that hot dog thumbnail. Like numerous times I've run into that issue of like, I need to slow down, and I need to like really focus on the quality over quantity, right? So I'm excited for Q2 and everything that's coming up. This new job will add plenty of new struggles, but I am very confident that I can overcome it. Moving to Boise means more access to ingredients, to people, connections, opportunities. All of that is going to come so much more easily living in a larger metropolitan area than living out here where I have been living. I've got plans for Q3 and Q4 already. There's exciting projects that I'm working on. Obviously not ready to talk about, but I just wanted to express that I am really looking forward to what comes next. I think it maybe covers everything I really wanted to talk about so far. Really, I guess I just want to end this off with thank you to everybody who's clicked on a video, who's listened to a podcast, who's given feedback, left comments, messaged me, or done anything to engage or care about me or care about the content I'm putting out. I just want to say thank you. This is an absolute passion of mine. I've loved creating content since my very first podcast episode in 2019. I have gone through numerous iterations of trying to figure out what I really enjoy. Like, I know that I enjoy creating stuff, especially like the stuff. Podcasts have been something I've been deeply interested in. I listen to dozens of hours of podcasts at 2x speed every single week. I have wanted to make YouTube videos since I was a little kid. And the only reason I didn't was because I was too self-conscious to do it alone, and I could never convince a friend to make YouTube videos with me. And you know, now as you know, I'm 29 years old and I'm creating this content now, I'm just like, oh, I love so much that I'm finally getting to create stuff that I have wanted to create since I was a little kid. So just thank you to everyone who's checked out anything so far, ever, of any of my podcasts, anyone who's ever been on any of previous content, any of my previous content. I just, thanks for any feedback and ideas. Thanks for sharing anything that you have. This has been incredibly fulfilling, and I am just so thankful that I have got the opportunity to be on this journey. And I can't wait to make more stuff. So with that, no more babbling. Thanks for joining me for the Director's Cut. Director's Cut is not the greatest term for this, but that's what we're going to stick with. So thanks for joining me for this Director's Cut of quarter one. I hope you stick around for quarter two.